All right. I welcome you guys. I'm glad that everyone came to this webinar. It's a good time to get in on this. As you guys know, I am Kelvin Troy Johnson, and this is our webinar: How to Make Money as a Counselor Without Seeing One More Client. All right. So, what will you discover? Through this webinar, you will be prepared, positioned, and you'll be ready to promote yourself as a speaker. We're going to talk a little bit about speaking engagements. We're going to get right into this thing. We're going to go in. We're going to talk a little bit about speaking engagements. Where are they? Who's hiring? And how do I get them? We're going to talk about becoming an author tonight. Someone on this line will have the chance to get started with some ideas and get some things moving. We're going to talk about why you must become an author, what you should write about, and how to sell your book. All right, and then we're going to talk a little bit about, getting your own show. This is awesome. This is going to be some good information. How do you get your own show? Why you need to have your own show? Types of shows for counselors, and the best show to start immediately. Then we're going to talk about social media and the web. We're going to talk about the different angles of social media and how they play into what we're doing. We're going to talk about the most important social media sites for counsel-preneurs. We're going to talk about your biggest problem in social media. And we're going to talk about building your brand. All right, who am I? I am Kelvin Troy Johnson. I am a speaker, trainer, and author. I am located right here, right outside of Atlantic City, New Jersey. I was born in Atlantic City, New Jersey, a few steps from the boardwalk, a few blocks from the boardwalk. I am a speaker. I am a product creator. I help counselors. I'm committed to helping counselors. I'm an author. Here's a couple of my projects. I'm an author. I try to get some press coverage when I can. I am a trainer. And I work with counselors. I work with people. I work with I'm a personal development trainer as well as helping other counselors to build their own platforms. I'm a radio show host my own radio show. It's called The Kelvin Troy Johnson Show, but we are in the process of transitioning from that and changing the name and changing everything about it. So that's pretty cool. I'm a podcast host. I have my own podcast show, as many of you may have known. This may be where some of you guys heard of me first, or maybe many of you are in the community on LinkedIn. But either way, I do have a podcast, and some of you have seen some of that. So I create articles. I create ebooks. I'm a son. A picture there of my parents and I, husband, and a family man. And our family resides here right outside Atlantic City. One of my new favorite hobbies is book signing. I never knew I'd love it so much, but I really enjoy it. It's a good time. I love I have many pictures, many opportunities. I'm so blessed and glad to be blessed to have a couple of opportunities to do book signings, and I'll sign books anywhere. I've had people call me in the middle of the night while I happened to be out already, and they said, "Pull over, I'm coming." And I did a book signing in the dark in a backwoods area. It doesn't matter to me. I love doing it, and I will do it. I'll do it anywhere, and it doesn't matter. All right, so just to give you guys a little bit of information about my background. You already know where I'm from. I went to Norfolk State University on a music scholarship. There's a long, interesting story associated with that I won't tell tonight, but I went there on a music scholarship, barely got there. I was basically a homeless college student, and I was able to get through with scholarships, through loans, through prayer and much supplication. I made it through. And I graduated with a psych degree, and I went straight to work. I got out of school, and I guess I spent too long in school, and I was just ready to get out of school. I didn't want to go right into the grad program because I wasn't really sure what exactly I wanted to do. And so I worked as a counselor. I worked as a family counselor under the direction of a LCSW. I've worked at group homes. I've worked in almost every level of that a bachelor's degree can work in the counseling field. Now, one of the things, I guess I'll jump in right here because I don't think I have a slide for it, but one of the reasons why when I started this program, I wanted it to be not just something for PhDs and people who are pretty heavily degreed, but I realized that counselors are, and in this term here, I understand that there's many different kinds of therapists and there's many different kinds of titles there. But for the sake of this and for the sake of this program, we just call everybody counselors, okay? And when you think about it, when you go to the client's houses, as I did, a lot of in-home therapy, in-home counseling, and I was able to do that through the agencies. When you're sitting in front of a family, like they don't care what your degree is, they don't care of any of those things. They just want to know, can you help us? And I often talk about the old lady that's sitting down at social services. She doesn't have a PhD. She doesn't have a PsyD degree. She doesn't have her master's in social work, but she knows how to help people. And she can tell you 100 ways to make it. And so her knowledge is important. Her skills are important. And that's why I included them in this program and in this process, case managers, as being important. So getting back to the story. So I did all of that. I did that work. And one night while I was out walking through a tough neighborhood, I was going to a house. I got there late, and it was a dark and kind of dreary neighborhood, not the kind of place you want to be after dark. And I had to go do this counseling session with a family. I walked in the door, and a woman, just before I went to go knock on the door, I heard this loud sound say, "I hate you. I hate you. I hate you." And as you can imagine, I kind of pulled back and like, uh-oh, maybe I shouldn't go in. But I knocked anyway and went in, only to discover that there was a mother and a son there. That's who we were coming to see, mother and a son. And long story short, they were really having a tough time, a lot of conflict, a lot of anger, a lot of frustration. And we got to the end of the sessions, and part of what, we got down to the bottom of it, and the bottom line was the reason that she was saying "I hate you" is because the son looked exactly like the father, who was abusive to her, who kicked her down the steps, who kicked her stomach and tried to kill the baby that was within her. And he ended up in prison anyway on like 25 year stint. He did something. And so every time she saw her teenage son, she looked in his eyes and saw the father. And the mother had no idea why she just couldn't stand this boy. She couldn't understand it even in herself. But by the time we left and we finished working with that family, I just had this feeling like, you know what? What I just told her, what we just help this family with, more people need to be exposed to this. I wish that I can just go out and so I began, an opportunity presented itself. Someone heard me just talking, and an opportunity presented itself to go and to speak to groups. I got an opportunity to go speak to some young people. I went and spoke at a nursing home, for another place for a community group, and my church asked for me to do some speaking to some young people as well as some visiting people, and so I started really liking this, and so I looked at this idea. I remember being young and hearing about a guy by the name of Les Brown. I heard about Les Brown, and Les Brown encouraged me to go out and to do some speaking, and I heard him speaking, and I was like, man, I'd love to do that one day. So I researched it, and I said, you know what? I really like this field of motivational speaking. I like this. I like the way it feels to other, the way that it appeals to other people and how it really seems to help. So I went there and I did that and had a great time with it. And then I thought, you know what? How can I get a better reach for this activity? So I ended up searching around, and I was able to get on the radio show. It was pretty cool. I got the radio show, and then I got another knock to come on to another radio show, and I did that, and that was awesome. So I really enjoyed doing that. I still do the radio show currently, so I'm still rolling along with that. So then I got an opportunity to host my own events. I got some backing, and I got some support out there. And then I got a team together, and we put on our own events, our own motivational events. I brought in other motivational speakers and a couple of music artists, and we went for it. And I've done a couple of those. And then I really began to get into this social media and created my own website and began to create my own products, selling my own products from my website, from multiple websites. I began to create my own products, creating my own income, ladies and gentlemen. And that's why we're here. I was able to create a community for the counselors, which is the one that you guys are connected to. Most of you are probably in the Counsel-preneurs group, as well as coming in my through the email. And then I was able to publish my first book. Now, I've published multiple books. All of them were ebooks, but this book, Build Your Success from the Ground Up, 12 Keys to Getting All You Can Out of All You've Got Left, is my first physical book. All right. And I love to help others to do the same. Some of you guys who are listening to me are more degreed than I am. Some of you have more experience than I have. But maybe you just haven't put your feet out there, got out there, raised a flag and say, hey, call on me. I can help. So that's why we are here. Okay, so let's get into it. Becoming a speaker. Becoming a speaker for counselors is almost a natural. In my research, I've discovered that more people want to become a speaker than anything else that is out there. I mean, everybody in this field, anybody who wants to do something in this field, wants to be a speaker first. Okay, so, but things have really changed, and this is why I wanted to do this webinar, because you need to know what's going on out there. Once upon a time, if you had to have a PhD and you had to have long gray hair, and you had to be the person who had all the answers for you to become a speaker, but that's no longer. Now people just want answers. They don't care how old you are. They don't care about, the extensiveness of your degree. They just want to know, can you help us? Do you have an answer? Yes or no? Okay. So now moving into the idea of being a speaker, there's a couple things that I really, really believe that you need to get an understanding on. You need to get an understanding on the field itself. It's the speaking business. It's the speaking business, okay? It's not just going out and doing some, doing a speaking job and then come back home and just do your regular thing. Now, you can do that if you want, but it's the speaking business. It's a business, and you have to treat it like it's a business. Now, one of the things, another thing that's new, once upon a time, everybody wanted to get out on a circuit. Everybody wanted to speak because, I'm telling you, you can make some serious money out on the circuit. There are people, I'm pretty glad to have written a book now, because now I can charge some really good rates that I couldn't charge before. And I'm glad to do that. There are some speakers on average, they're getting $10,000 per speaking engagement and up, basically no less than, 2,500, 2,500, unless it's just a local thing. But when you're getting on the market and you're getting out there, people will pay you for what you know. Now, here's the little caveat that's different nowadays. Once upon a time, everybody wanted to get out there and do that. But now, more people are understanding that, wait a minute, yes, this is what I thought I wanted to do, but wait a minute, this is taxing. I mean, you got to pay, they may cover all the expenses, but nobody can cover your time. I mean, packing, getting on an airplane, going to a hotel, delivering your message, getting back on the plane, getting back home. And that all sounds great. And it all sounds wonderful at first, until, wait a minute. I'm going to miss little Johnny's recital, or little Sue is having a game, soccer game, and I'm going to miss that. And you end up missing a lot of things. So I would encourage you to go lightly into this and discover if this is really what you want. Now, obviously, because this is the Counselor Success System and we're Counsel-preneurs, we're not all about one thing. We've got multiple things that we can work with, multiple sticks to swing if we like. Okay? So let's talk about positioning. Positioning yourself as a speaker. The question is, who else knows that you want to be a speaker? Who else knows that you are available for speaking engagements? That's what this is all about. Helping counselors to create a platform for themselves. Positioning themselves. Letting other people see that you're a counselor. It's kind of like being going to court and having to prove who you are and why they should pay you as a speaker. Do you have any magazine or articles written? Have you been in a newspaper? Is there any proof to verify the fact that you are a speaker and you're the person to do the speaking on this topic? Okay. So another thing you have to look at is promotion, and how are you going to promote yourself as a speaker? Now, through this process and through this talk and these webinars, obviously tonight we got started a little late, but as obviously we won't be able to get to all of these things tonight, but hopefully by the time this is all done, you'll have a better understanding of at least what's before you, what decisions you can make, and how it can really work for you. So this is all about promoting yourself as a speaker. Speaking engagements. Where are they? Who's hiring? And how do you get them? All right. So where are they? Speaking engagements are actually everywhere. They're actually everywhere. I was I was walking through a university that I spend some time at, do some work in, and they had a flyer up about a Dress for Success event. Okay, it was all really about personal development and that sort of thing. I said, okay, great. Let me find out about this. I called the number, told them my credentials, and they said, oh, they were really impressed. They didn't even know about me, which was fine. But they said, hey, yeah, you sound like we got this. We're doing that thing, but wait a minute. We've got something better that we'd like to have you come in on. And so there it was. So I tell you that speaking engagements literally are everywhere, but you have to keep your eyes open for it to see what's going on. Now, question, who's hiring? I know everybody wants to know who's hiring speakers, okay? If you want to know who's hiring speakers, take a look at the events of places where other speakers are speaking. I know this seems obvious, but look at who's hiring speakers. What speakers are out there? You can even go on, let's say, whoever your speaker of choice is. Okay. Let's say you want to do personal development and you want to follow a Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins probably on his website has a list of his clients, his past clients, almost every motivator out there, or, Les Brown and all of these guys, they will have a list of two things. They'll have a list of the current dates, their appointments that they have, so that you can come and join and be a part. And they'll also have the people who they have spoken for, because they want event planners to go on their site, look at who they've spoken for. If you could have on your website that you've spoken for Coca-Cola, you've spoken for McDonald's, you've spoken for Wendy's, and you've spoken for Target, spoken to their staff, spoken to their people, then you become somebody that they want to hire. Okay, so you can use that and follow their tracks. You can actually reach out to those companies and let them know about your services, since they hire speakers. Okay, so maybe there's something in there for you. How do you get them? It's the easiest and the oldest way that I know. You ask for them. If you want speaking engagement, ladies and gentlemen, see, this is why I'm doing this program with counselors, because I understand counselors, for the most part, are academic people. For the most part, we're academic people. We think that, okay, all we have to do is do our work and somebody will see us. But becoming a speaker and becoming a counsel-preneur is two words, as you guys know. It's counselor and it's part entrepreneur. A counselor, the counselor part gets what they know and really know what they know, okay? And they're able to help people. Well, the entrepreneur is the go-getter, is the door knocker, is the hand raiser. Hey, I'm over here, okay? So you've got to have both of those. How do you get what you want in anything else? You go for it. You ask for it. You seek after it. And that's how you get the engagements. Ask your local churches, your local assemblies, your local Lions clubs. Everybody needs speakers. All of these organizations need a speaker to come through, but they're not going to come to you. You've got to go to them. All right. Also, other ways, there's actually a lot of ways for you to get speaking engagements. You can appear on other people's shows as an expert. You can, and how do you get those? You call them, you email them and tell them what you do and how you can make their show an awesome show. All right. We'll talk more on that later. Okay. So moving on, becoming an author. Now, here's something that I really want to hit home. I want to drive this point home to you. People don't believe that you are an expert in this field if you don't have a book. If you don't have some kind of book, listen, I'm totally into the ebooks, and as you guys, I just told you, I've got a couple of them myself, and I'm actually working on another one right now. I don't know if I'm going to make it a physical book or an ebook or whatever, but people do not relegate you as a serious individual, a person that they should call for a speaking engagement if you don't have a book. The lady that I was just telling you, you guys, I was just telling you about the event over there as I was walking through about the career day event, and I saw the event, and I called them up. One of the questions the lady asked me was, "Are you an author?" It's crazy, but that's what she asked me. "Are you an author?" And I said, "Yes." She said, "What's the name of your book?" And I told her, "Build Your Success from the Ground Up." Now, I know what happens after that. If after you say you're an author, they do one or two things. They either put your name in Google or they put your name in Amazon to look you up to see about your book. They want to find out about you. If you don't have a book, that is a problem. If you don't have a book, you are just another talking head. I know you've done your work, you've put your time in, you've paid your dues, and you are an expert. As you guys say, look, I don't care if you're working down at social services or working at the local rescue mission or wherever. If you deal with people and you've been dealing with people for 20 years, you're pretty much an expert. But guess what? You're just another talking head if you don't have a book. So why you must become an author? That is why. You must become an author because it legitimately makes you an expert, the go-to expert. Okay? Now, the question is, what should you write about? I suggest that you write about what you feel most passionate about. Actually, there's twofold. That's a twofold answer. What you feel most passionate about and what people will buy. What you feel most passionate about and what people will buy. Think about your area. Think about what you do every day. Hopefully you have passion for what you do every day. Look at that and ask yourself, what kind of book will people want from me as from this business? Now, here's something, again, for my academics, telling people that you do cognitive behavioral therapy and all of this stuff that only people in the business really care about. The customer doesn't care about that. They want to know, do you have a book on how to stop eating? Do you have a book on how to stop doing this behavior that I keep doing? And spelled out in the most basic way. Okay? They don't care about any of those other things that we care about. They want to know, again, can you help me? So the next question is, how do you sell your book? And I encourage you to sell it in every way possible. I've sold most of my books online. I sell them in person. I sell them through my website. I sell them through Amazon. I sell them through listen, you could probably find my book in every channel, Google Play Store, all the channels, everywhere where you can buy books. I sell mine now. Mine are all self-published. Once upon a time, there's that whole argument of publishing, going to a publishing house versus self-publishing. People in our space traditionally all went towards the big publishers, but no longer the case. People actually, nowadays there are almost more people doing it themselves, self-publishing and getting paid for it. All right, I got to press on. Let's move on. Getting your own show. Okay. These are all areas that are going to give you a solid base and help you to make money without seeing another client. Nothing wrong with clients. We love clients. But you don't want to be totally dependent and have your income totally dependent on whether you see a client or not. Okay? So, getting your own show. Why you need to have your own show. Having your own show, again, it's another layer of proof that you are the go-to person. It allows people to hear your theory, hear your knowledge, hear your positioning, and hire you. What types of shows are out there for counselors? Whatever your business is, you can create a show around it. If you do couples therapy, trust me, there is no shortage of the need for a show for couples. Now, what's out there? What kind of shows? There are podcasts. I encourage everyone to jump into that, which is our next point. The best show to start immediately is podcast. Podcasting is easy. It's available. It's simple. You can do it. Also, YouTube is available for just about anybody. You can create your own show. You no longer have to wait for NBC to call you. You can create your own show. All right. Now, another area of that needs our attention is the social media and the web. If you want to be seen as an authority and be a real counselpreneur, you have to have a solid social media presence. When that lady yesterday took my name, I knew exactly what she was going to do. She's going to put my name in Google, which is maybe something that some of you guys have done already. Put my name in Google and see who is Kelvin Troy Johnson. When she put my name in Google, I already knew what she was going to come up with. So I felt comfortable with telling her, go look my name up. Go ahead. Now, I suggest all of you put your name in Google and see what comes up, because it's important to see what people are saying about you and if it's true, and if is it what you want meeting planners to see about you. And if it's not, get to work and adding more things up there that you want to be seen. Okay? So the question is, what is your biggest problem when it comes to social media? Your biggest problem is being unknown. Your biggest problem with social media is scarcity. And your biggest problem is people just don't know who you are. That's your biggest problem. So as a counselor, as a counselpreneur, as a young person, or not young necessarily, but as a person who is launching their counselpreneur platform, your biggest problem is nobody knows you. You are obscure. You've got to get out of obscurity and so that people know you exist. People can't hire you if they don't know you. So you have to build up your social media presence. Social media presence. That means LinkedIn. That means YouTube. That means Twitter. And that means Facebook. Now, there are tools that can help you manage all of these things. I know what you're saying. Some of you are saying, man, Kelvin, I can't do all of that stuff. I'm barely doing all the stuff that I'm doing. But you can do it, and you have to do it, because it's all a part of building your brand. So let's review. Four of the most critical areas that counselors and counselpreneurs must attend to are the speaking platform, authorship, show hosting, and social media presence. Now, as you guys know, there are more, but we just don't have the time to cover all of them today. We will cover them in the next webinar. We have another webinar that we are scheduled to handle, to launch, and that's going to be on this Thursday. This Thursday is the next webinar These are the areas that will be covered in the next webinar. Media presence. We're going to talk more about your media presence, how to get the newspaper and the television interviews, and how to get your presence out there in that way. Product creation. How to create your own products. Oh my goodness. If there's anything a counselor needs to know is how do you create your own products, and how do I stop being the product? Okay. All right. The other one is seminars and workshops. How do I create seminars? How do I create workshops and make money? Some of you guys know how to create seminars. Some of you know how to make workshops. But the question is, do you know how to make money? All right. And create a paid community. That's how you keep the money going, and that's how you keep it going strong. All right. So listen, go to counselorsuccesssystem.com/toolkit. I have a free report for all of you who stayed to the end of this webinar. I have a free report ready for you. The 5 tools every counselor needs to build a successful business. I think that my person has taken care of that. If not, you can check back, and I'll make sure that it's it's in there. We had technical difficulties and everything going on. I'm not totally sure that it should be in there. Let me just put it that way. It should be in there. All right. So the next webinar will be Thursday, September 25th, 2014 at 7:30. We'll go deeper and give you more information about building your brand and your business. So let's go to you guys out there and just kind of take some questions. I'm going to take some of your, if you have a question or comment, just go ahead and type your name in the box. Well, I guess you could just type your question in the box. How do we want to do it? Okay. All right. You know what? I'll take you guys off of mute, and we'll just do it that way. All right. All right. So I can hear you guys. Is there anybody here that has a question? Question or comment? Anybody out there? Anybody? All right. Any questions? Can you hear me? Anybody? Okay. So I guess if there are no other questions, I guess we're gonna close out for tonight. Last call. Percy, I'm glad you came. Frank, thank you so much for coming. And Deborah, I see you there. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being with us. I would love to have you at our next webinar on Thursdays at 7:30. We'll do it, and we'll make it happen. All right? You guys have a great evening. Bye-bye.